everybody. Baron Bananas here right now again. Sorry about the earlier start today. It seemed like just kind of a good time to try. So, as we recall, Sunday, my stream decided to go all screwy with the bitrate, making it look like absolute dog crap. Wasn't happy. Monday I was busy, but I was using Twitch Inspector a lot, and seems like my internet is stable now. Like, even just before I started this, I fired up Twitch Inspector. And it was holding around at 2400 for me, which is more than enough for what I need for something like this. I'm okay with that. I was even just randomly clicking through the things, moving myself around like nuts, and it was holding pretty stable. So we're going to try more Katawa today. We'll go for as long as I think. Like I said, I want to attempt to go to like maybe 2 o'clock. Probably won't do 2 though. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. If after like 2 hours I feel like we're good, I might just stop. Or just switch to another game to change things up. Not sure at the moment. Maybe I'll do Stardew after. I don't know. Anyway, so when we last actually played this, we got ourselves onto Hanako's route. During our half-day Saturday, we went to the library, ended up hanging out with her until it was essentially time for curfew. Then come festival time, doing Lily a favor because she seems stressed out as it is, we went and told her we would go look for Hanako and hang out with her. Which we did. Then Lily joined us, then we went to the tea house, and watched the festival fireworks from there. So now we are going to be hopefully actually starting Act 2 of Hanako's route. So I'm going to load that up, and fingers crossed, everybody. I know it went really well for like 20 minutes and then died down the minute Misha showed up, so if we get past that point, I think we're good. Alright. My alarm blares into my ears, only to be swiftly silenced by my fist. My body switches into auto mode, carrying my subconscious self out of bed and into my uniform. As always, my bottles of pills sit on my desk patiently, waiting for me to take them and pick out my daily dosage of medicine. 17 pills a day. Yeah, I brought that up last time when we got to here. Yeah, I think this is the first time we actually got a confirmation of how many pills he has to take a day. 17 all day, every day. So, for the rest of his life, potentially. I mean, the doctor gave hope. There's probably new medicines coming in the future, so that your list of pills could dwindle over time. But still, that's a lot. You have to take these 17 pills every day for the rest of your life, or the chances of you dying increase dramatically. That's not something you can get used to easily. Before I know it, I'm opening the door to Class 3-3. I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one who seems to be a little hungover from festival week. Every face in the class looks gaunt. With the festival now over, it's as if everyone's life dreams have been achieved. Nothing left to live for, the students have relied on instincts alone to guide them to class. Or maybe I'm reading too much into it. I slowly make my way to my seat, and it's only then that I realize why the room is so peaceful. The seats beside mine are blissfully empty. The world's loudest interpreter for the deaf has yet to arrive. Just as I'm about to sit down, the door flies open, revealing the resplendent Misha. Drills bobbing from the dramatic entrance and arms stretched toward the sky. Yahoo! It's all over! It appears that not everyone is affected by the post-festival depression. The rest of the class glare at her, obviously thinking the same thing I am. Misha, still frozen in the doorway, with her arms still in the air, nervously looks around. It's obvious that she senses the foul mood, but can't work out exactly what to do. Suddenly, she jerks forward.
Hey!
As she stumbles into the classroom, she reveals Shizune, arm extended from where she shoved Misha. Thanks for the entertainment, but shouldn't you two take your seats? Okay, it was about here where it screwed up last time. Still slightly embarrassed, Misha takes a few seconds to realize she has to translate.
Oh, yeah! Shichan says she's not happy with you ditching us last week. We were really busy.
Is that so? What about the stuff I already did for you two? Sao gives no fucks in this route.
She says that only counts for council members. Since you declined, she doesn't owe you anything.
Misha leans closer and whispers conspiratorially in my ear.
Actually, I think she's just a little sore that you didn't spend the day with her. She's really thankful for your work last week, though.
Sensing that she's being talked about, Shizune lightly wraps her fingers on her desk until Misha turns around to face her. Alright, I think we're good. I can't understand any of the fast-paced signing that's going on, but from Shizune's slightly embarrassed expression and Misha's poorly contained laughter, I can guess. While this exchange is happening, the door opens once again, but this time at a much more reasonable pace. Hanako quietly enters the room and pulls the door closed behind her. Peering out from under her hair, she quickly scans the classroom. Our eyes meet, and she suddenly stiffens. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and then walks over to my desk. Good morning, Hisao. Morning, Hanako. You're a little late, aren't you? I was talking to Lily. About today. Ah, so you've got her list then? We can leave straight after classes in that case. Sure. I'm looking forward to it. Hanako briefly flashes her embarrassed smile at me, then hurries off to her seat. During classes, it becomes apparent that it's not only the students that are a little despondent after the festival. Muto simply gives us a list of exercises from the textbook and then sits behind his desk. I totally forgot about the brief lunch period for a moment, such is the banality of the day. It's mind-numbing, and everyone seems surprised when the bells signal the end of the lessons. As I'm packing up my bags, Shizune and Misha flank and entrap me.
Say, Hee-chan, it's not too late to join up. There's a lot of post-festival paperwork for us to complete.
Sorry, Misha. I've got plans. As if sensing the cue, Hanako appears behind me, holding a small bag and trying to avoid eye contact with the outside world. Misha's eyes open wide, then she bursts into laughter. Oh my god. This isn't even a mwahaha, it's a bwahaha. Oh my god. Oh, Misha, you were so loud. Oh my god. is still too hot. My tea is still too hot. Ah.
You move fast, don't you, He-chan? We won't disturb your date any further.
Here we go. You got that out of me. Enjoy. Behind the roaring Misha, I see Shizune taking far too little interest in the scene. I might be taking this the wrong way, but I think she's deliberately ignoring me. I feel a gentle tug on my shirt and turn to see Hanako's eyes fixed firmly on the floor.
Let's...
Got ya. Shizune, Misha, I'll see you later. And I'm still not interested in the council.
Spoil sport.
Misha and Shizune retreat into the hallway, happily signing to each other. Got all your stuff? Let's head off. Floods of students pour out of the school gates and onto the road into town. It's a little weird. It's almost a scene from any other high school, but the illusion fades because of the occasional wheelchair or missing limb. One thing I do notice is that nobody is alone. And as Hanako and I pass through the gates, I notice that she closes the distance between us. Not enough to be considered close, but she certainly isn't at her usual just a little far position. I guess we're not familiar enough for her to get as close as she does with Lily. However, even though she has moved a little closer to me physically, mentally she seems to have traveled a mile. Her hands clutched around the leather straps of her bag to the point of whitening her knuckles, her head down, and her mouth pursed close. She almost looks like she's being walked to the principal's office for the first time. Try to stifle a giggle at the thought, but it's futile.
What's the matter?
I guess there's no point in hiding it. Sorry. For a second there, it looked like you were getting in trouble.
What do you mean?
I think you need to relax a little. We're not going too far, and it's only students around, right?
Right.
It bothers me a little to see Hanako so worked up. And you do this every week, don't you?
Yes. With Lily.
Of course. With Lily. I wonder, has she ever left the school without her? Doesn't seem like much at first glance, but Hanako's dependence on Lily is absurdly heavy. If she can't even handle leaving the school without her, how would she have managed to survive if the two had never met? I mean, she survived up to this point pretty well. I'm pretty sure she only met Lily like last year. So, a good 16 years she was able to manage social interactions alone. Clearly she's doing something right. It may be hard for her, but she still did it. It's not like without Lily she becomes a stuttering wreck that just can't function. Sort of. We'll get into it later. Would she have found someone else to latch onto? And what drew her to Lily? Was it her lack of eyesight, or was Lily just kind enough to lend a hand? I wonder if anyone would have fit the bill. Well, I'm here. Besides, we're not going far. It'll be over before you know it. Hanako's knuckles slowly regain their color as she tries to hide a small smile, but the effort of that seems to prevent further conversation. We travel, side by side, down the winding road towards town. The crowd of students thin as we continue along the sidewalk. Faster students rush ahead, and the less mobile ones fall behind, rarefying the crowd into nothingness. By the time we reach the convenience store, we are practically alone. Using me as a shield between herself and the attendant, Hanako moves through the narrow aisles, adding an assortment of items to her basket. Bread, milk, tea, thyme? Yeah, this is the exact same stuff she had on her list. On Lily's route when she gave it to us to do for her. What kind of convenience store sells herbs? A good one. That's what. More a mini grocery store than just a convenience store. Also, the amount of times I've played this damn game, I did not notice the beer sign up top in the right corner here. This whole time, I never noticed it just straight up said beer. Then again, nothing about this town seems normal, which may not be a bad thing in retrospect. Everything is so different and uncomfortable, and dwelling on such matters isn't really an option. When I think about it, it reminds me of Hanako. No matter how much you try, you can't escape her scars. They still interrupt my train of thought when I see them. As much as I don't want to admit it to myself, I think I'm forcing myself to try to ignore them. Like Yuko said, it's only an issue if you make it an issue. It's only an elephant in the room if you think of it as an elephant in the room. Not that I'm scar-free myself. The jagged line down my sternum will never completely fade. Fade away, whatever. Same thing. I just have the luxury of being able to hide it easily. But in a way, both of our scars remind me that we're all in this place for a reason. Bit rate's jumping a little bit, but it's jumping where I want it to be. Hanako throws one last item into her basket, and then sheepishly holds it out to me, along with a few banknotes. Could you, please? It takes me a second to understand what she's trying to say. Oh, you want me to pay for this? She nods, but doesn't look up. I guess this task falls to Lily on the usual occasions. Sure. Let me just grab a couple things. I hastily grab a few essential items for myself and head for the counter with Hanako in close tow. The attendant gives an indifferent nod as he scans in the items. I suppose just ignoring us is one way to deal with the anomalies of Yamaku. They must get a lot of students here, being the closest store to the school. The staff must all have their own way of dealing with us. Or maybe they don't. Maybe it's only me who thinks twice about my unique schoolmates. Our transaction complete, Hanako and I head back out onto the street. The road is pretty much abandoned now. The students that were heading out have already left, and nobody has started returning just yet. And with only the school ahead on the road, there doesn't seem anybody else around. The emptiness certainly reflects on Hanako. Her arms by her side, each carrying a bag, head no longer bowed and back to an upright position. It's almost as if she were enjoying this walk. So, why all these weird things? Mixed spice? Why would you need that in school?
I sometimes like to make food.
Well, yeah, so do I, but spices? That's a little more advanced, don't you think?
Not really.
Well, I think it's cool. You have to teach me one day.
Sure.
She doesn't seem all that sure, but pushing the point doesn't seem all that wise. At the very least, she seems a great deal happier than she did on the walk down here. That alone makes me a little happier. Outside the girls' dorm, Hanako and I sort out the grocery bags with our respective purchases. In comparison, my things look positively plain. I tell you, you're putting me to shame here.
No, I'm not. I just.
I'm only joking. I have a stack of homework that I skipped last week, so I must leave now. What a weird way to say that line. Also, hey Nichols, how's it going? And yes, I started a lot earlier than I usually do. Will you be alright getting that to your room?
Yeah.
Currently waiting in line for the Animal Crossing Build-A-Bear call-up. Oh my god. Because of course that's a thing. Build your own villager. How big of a line are we talking? When does it even open? You're in the waiting room before the... Oh my god, so you're in the line to get in the line. Nice. Waiting room opened at 10:30 and you get randomly placed into the line at 11. Wow. You're literally waiting to wait. I love stuff like that. Waiting to wait. We got the pre-lineup lineup, and then we have the lineup for the line. We have the post-lineup line, and then after that, the pre-post lineup meeting line meetup pre-post. I don't know. I just made up words at the end there. I kind of forgot where I was going. Improv is not my thing, damn it. Everything I do is not my thing. I just attempt it, and it usually goes terribly. Sure? Okay then. I'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
We part ways, and I return to my room. Piles of papers sit upon my desk, begging to be completed. With the entire ruckus of last week, I've barely had any time to catch up. I tried to keep up with my studies while I was in the hospital, but some of this stuff I've never seen before, even back in my old school. Totally unprepared, I popped the top on a can of drink. What? I pop the top on a can of drink. couldn't say water, or soda, or tea, or, rearrange that sentence so it sounds natural? Could have just said, I popped the top of my drink, or something, or opened my drink. No, I popped the top on a can of drink. Here's my cup of drink. Like, that just did not sound natural at all. A can of drink. My cup of drink. Ugh. Some of the choices for dialogue are just kind of wonky to me. But that's just me. I mean, I'm not the one who managed to make a game out of a goof. So, with an actual team of people. So, yeah. That's just such a weird line. I popped the top on a can of drink. Like, if you replace drink with just like any kind of actual beverage, it would have been okay. But just generic drink? Anyway, totally unprepared, I pop the top on a can of drink and get to work. Days are really starting to heat up. This morning, I awoke covered in sweat. By the time the student body starts leaving their dorms for breakfast and morning duties, the sun has taken full effect. Oddly, that puts me in high spirits. It's not even 8, yet I feel that this day is going to be one of those pleasant, tranquil, warm ones. If I weren't at a school that considered every absence from class as a sign of a life-threatening situation, I'd consider skipping the whole day and just relaxing in the school gardens. Yes, today will be a genuinely lazy day. For a second, I stop in mid-stretch and consider the nurse's warning about exercise. Maybe I should have kept up with those morning jogs. So there we go. He's slightly regretting not, going for runs in the morning with Emmy. He tried it twice and then gave up. I kind of like little acknowledgements of that. It's like, maybe I should have done this instead. Now, we've already seen what happens if he did do that. We got, Emmy wrote. We kept that up. Running with someone like Emmy might have been a little testing, but if I worked at my own pace... who am I kidding? I couldn't stick to something like that without some kind of motivation. I mean, he's not wrong. He admits that his motivation for running in the mornings maybe at first started as, well, it'll get my heart stronger so I'll live longer, and then eventually came to, no, my motivation to run in the morning is just so I could spend time and see Emmy. If he didn't have that, he wouldn't have run. And he doesn't have that, so he doesn't bother to run. For once, jumping from one route to the other isn't, killing me. This is actually perfect. We had the end of Emmy route that gave us that revelation of his actual motivation to keep running in the morning, and now we got him here questioning he needs some kind of motivation to keep up with something like that. That worked out beautifully. like the Lily one in Emmy's route. That just hurt. That hurts so much. I'm gonna be seeing more of Lily in this route. That's gonna be fun. It's not like I sit around all day. The walk to and from the convenience store counts as exercise, right? Especially the walk back up the hill. Yeah, it's no big deal. Compared to months of lying in a hospital bed, I'm getting plenty of exercise. It seems that I'm not alone in my appreciation of the day. Nearly every member of the class is glancing through the window and into the tantalizing sky. Even the steadfast Shizune seems to lack her usual vigor for schoolwork. Misha, as brazen as ever, has even unbuttoned the top buttons of her shirt and is fanning herself with a notebook. Oh yes, it's Japan. And they are in a uniform, so she's lowered her ribbon, undone the top buttons, and is just fanning herself. That probably is a bit much for Japan. Potentially. Mostly from a, hey, you're out of uniform, get back into uniform kind of way. I must have been staring, as she's now sticking her tongue out at me. God damn it, Hisao. However, she shows no signs of halting her efforts, nor is she trying to hide the fact. The lunch bell seemed to catch everyone by surprise, and the class empties at a much slower pace than usual. The heat seems to be draining the need to rush from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Hisao? Hey there, Hanako. What can I do for you today? Hanako already has a lunch bag in hand. I don't have to be a detective to work out where this is going. Would you like to have lunch with us again? I brought enough for everyone. Awesome. You don't have to be so stiff about it, though. Right. I take it we're going to the tea room? Please. Lily said she'll meet us in there, so we should go ahead together. Sounds like a plan. This heat has made me pretty hungry. Hanako breathes a sigh of relief, and I gather my things together. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. Then again, the usual din of the school seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by heat exhaustion. Hanako slowly spreads her food on the table, intently focusing on every little movement, as if she's trying to keep her mind off other thoughts. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanor that she has prepared everything with utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start without her? She'll be here soon. Hanako struggles with the lid of a container of rice. Here, let me help with that. I take the container from Hanako's hands and try to force open the lid. Try as I might, it seems wedged shut. Let me guess. Did you put this in while the rice was still hot? Yes. I was in a rush. I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. Looks like this is wedged shut. I'll need some hot water to get it open. That could be a pain in here. We'd get water everywhere. In comes Lily.
Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal?
At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked with various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same.
Since you two had a change of plans because of me, I thought I would bring a little something.
Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. With a little guidance, Lily's bread assortment joins Hanako's riceless platter. I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. Well, I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako trying her hardest not to look like she's looking at me. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking for myself. Yes, as the other routes have pointed out, you eat mostly, ramen, I'm pretty sure? Instant noodles? That is your dinner most of the time? Not bad. I guess this is made with the stuff you bought yesterday?
Yes.
Instant noodles? I mean, yeah, I do like my instant noodles, but it can't be my only meal. I gotta vary it up a bit. Granted, he is in a dorm room at a high school, so I don't think they would take too kindly to him having a mini grill. So, burgers and steaks are out of the question there. Yeah. Wait, that actually brings to the question, how the hell does Hanako make this stuff? Yeah, rice, you can buy a small little rice cooker, that's no problem, but apparently she has a lot of food out here that she made with spices and everything. Where is she cooking this? I can tell you one thing, it's not in her room. Guess I'll find that out in a bit. These dorm rooms definitely do not have a full working kitchen in each of them. Sure, maybe the common room of the dorm building, but that would mean Hanako would be doing this at like damn near midnight, so there's a chance no one is actually there to bother her. Considering how freaking anxiety-ridden she is. I don't know. I don't know how boarding schools work in that regard. Hanako's eyes shout at me, begging for some kind of feedback. Well, it was clearly worth it. Thanks, Hanako.
I wanted to show you this. After yesterday.
That's okay. I was just a little surprised at the stuff you were buying.
Hanako's always like to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good. Most of the time. Damn, Lily, come on.
While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change in her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. And it's not like Hanako has many people to sample her cooking. Hang on. Was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating until after I said it was all right. Oh, she made us the guinea pig. See if it's actually edible. Oh my god. If it wasn't edible, I could just now imagine Lily scarfing down all the bread she brought. And then when Hanako says, "Why aren't you eating anything?" she just go with excuse.
Oh, I'm sorry. I filled up on bread.
Oh my god.
You still alive? Guess I'll take a bite.
Oh, that's amazing. That is just amazing. Oh. Her cheeky grin tells me this was a deliberate action on her part. I'll have to try and work out how to get one over on her in the future to make up for this. Well, it's good, and that's all that counts, right?
R- right.
Lily, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food in front of her. I find myself staring as if I can't get over it now. I'm trying. Just keeping thinking about that is killing me. If he did drop dead, just like Lily's sitting there minding her own business, chewing on a roll, while Hanako's freaking out, just like,
Well, at least it's not me.
oh my god. Oh, I'm having too much fun with this. This is not. This should not be this funny. What the hell? Why? This should not be this funny. Okay. Oh my god.
Zero fucks given. Proceeds to sip tea.
Okay. Whew. Oh, I needed a good laugh. I really needed a good laugh. All right. Focus. God damn it. No. Why? This should not be that funny. Oh. Oh, man. How did I do this? Oh, my God. Stand back, people. You got the giggles. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, that was too good. That was just way too good. I hope you're listening to this on headphones while you're in that line. Unless this is an online thing you're doing, like an online waiting room. 'Cause if not, I must sound goddamn insane to anyone that's able to hear this. I find myself staring as I watch her chopsticks gently touch the plate, their tips delicately poking and tracing to quickly ascertain the positions of the food as she dexterously picks it up. It's online. No bystanders concerned for your health here. Okay, good. Thank goodness. I don't want total strangers to think I'm a nut job. I'll let my friends think I'm a nut job. And that is it for my cup of tea. Maybe I'll get some bread. One might think she were a child playing with her food, if not for the situation, though she does it with such care and thoughtlessness that it's obvious this is simply how she eats this kind of meal. Not wanting to miss out, I start filling up myself. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have our hands clear before snatching up her share. Before long, the containers are empty, save for the still shut rice container.
Thank you, Hanako. That was filling. No. Thank you for the bread.
Yes, it would have been a disaster if not for that. You can have a meal without a starch, damn it. You don't need your bread or rice for a meal. My God. Incorrect. All hail the cops!
You're both welcome. But now, I must be getting back. It's far too easy to be late after eating here.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think we'll just clean up here, then head off.
Well then, good day.
Lily leaves, her cane tapping away down the quiet hallway. Hanako and I quickly pack up our things and stay seated, waiting for the bell. Together, we stare out the window and into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I would have sworn the time had stopped. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I shoot a glance at Hanako, who shows no signs of moving either.
Not just yet.
The interval between the warning bells and the end of lunch bells passes in the blink of an eye. We really should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs.
You're right.
Slowly, she rises to her feet, and I follow suit. Silently, we make our way up the old stairs to the third floor, and then to our classroom. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apology in advance. I'm sorry we're late, teacher. I'm greeted not by stern words, nor by an angered instruction to take my seat, but simply by the silence created by 15 or so students trying not to laugh. Muto, ever tardy, has yet to arrive. However, the fact that Hanako and I have arrived together is blatantly obvious. And there's Misha barely holding it together. Make that about 14 students trying and 1 student failing. God damn it, Misha.
The lovers return.
Oh, that was an awful voice I did for Misha. What happened? I don't know what happened there. Oh well, sorry, Misha. Also, insert wahaha here. I am not doing wahahas. There's too many wahahas. I will never do a wahaha. So deal with it. Anyway. Yeah, thanks. You can calm down now. I stepped through the door and realized that Hanako was firmly pressed against my back, hiding herself from the class. With my steps coming closer to my desk, she eventually breaks from me and stiffly walks to her own. Her efforts to mentally block everyone's presence from her mind are written clearly on her face. Fairly clearly, whatever. Quickly checking the door for any signs of the teacher's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. Don't worry about Misha. She's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head behind her folded arms, but still doesn't show her face. I yearn to stay and console her more, but Muto picks this exact moment to enter the class, halfway through his lecture, as if he started it in the hallway. Which, of course, is directly proportional to the charge, but inversely proportional to the square of the distance. He's so engrossed in his speech that he doesn't even notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Muto's spiel rambles on, Misha leans over to me.
The teacher may not have noticed your tardiness, but I did.
That much is obvious from the show you just put on.
I have been instructed to let you off the hook for today, but only on one condition.
Oh? And what would that be?
You have to help us this afternoon.
I crane my neck to look over Misha's shoulder. Shizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine, just for today. I've already told you I'm not joining the council, remember?
Of course! Doing so could be considered...
She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking for her place in her script.
Under duress, it would hence be against regulations.
How very strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now.
Things should be done by the book. It's just that the book hasn't been written for every situation, so there are times when it can be ignored.
How convenient. And yet, you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council. After poking her tongue out at me, Misha returns to her workbook, and we battle our way through the latter half of the school day. Before I can even stand up, Misha and Shizune have placed their hands on both my shoulders. Hey, I said I'd help out. Damn.
This is just insurance, Hisao. Insurance!
Hisao? Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us, and I suddenly realize that this may be my one chance to escape. Oh, hey Hanako. What's up?
Hey, what makes you think you've got time to chat?
Oh, relax. This won't take long. Sorry, Hanako. You were saying?
I was going to go to the library and I thought...
Hanako's thumbs dance around each other and her eyes flit around the room, looking everywhere but at us.
Sorry, Hanako, but Hisao has to come with us. He's got work to do.
Oh my god.
Oh, but you can help too if you'd like. So how about it, Hisao?
Oh, I actually get a choice here. I'm gonna just do a save to be safe. So I actually have not been saving at decisions, which is something you really should be doing. So it's either say, I've already done enough work for the council already, or should I just ask what Hanako wants to do? Do I just say, screw you guys, or, yeah, Hanako, you want to come help? I'm sure it'll be fun. Actually, while I think this over, I'm going to go and make myself another tea, so I shall be right back. And I'm back. Alright. Tea is made, it's just now gonna cool off as I play so I can actually drink it properly. Alright, have you done enough work for the council, or what do you think, Hanako? I don't care, I'm flipping a coin. Alright, heads, I've done enough work for the council. Tails, I ask what Hanako thinks. Heads. Hey, Shizune. I know I said I'd help, but I forgot I'd already made plans. Besides, I helped out more than my fair share last week, didn't I? I promise I'll make it up to you some other time. Shizune and Misha release their grip on me and have a long, deep, and silent conversation.
Well, you have a point there. To be honest, we were only going to spend the rest of the budget on cakes.
What? What? You're gonna spend the rest of the school budget on cake? Literally cake. Why are these people in charge? Why are these two in charge when they're spending the school's money on cake? Probably for themselves. Oh my god, it really is just for them. Oh my god. Just spend all the school's money on cake. We don't have any money for textbooks.
If you have no textbooks, then let them read cake.
God damn it. That was awful. That was also a history reference. If you know what the reference I'm talking about, please. Please tell me someone else knows and I'm not just the only one right now. Please.
So if you're not there, it works out better. More cake for us.
Insert wahaha here. Hey, dude, how's it going? Yeah, we're on Hanako route. And thank you, Nichols. My casual Marie Antoinette shoutout. Thank God. I mean, so far into Act 2, writing's been good. This isn't my first time going through Hanako. I've done every other route but what Rin's before. And so far, Hanako's is good. Some of the word choice I think is weird. Like, earlier after we went shopping with Hanako, the line that really kind of bugged me was, I popped the top off a can of drink. That's just, like, weird to me. That line was weird. Like, who calls something a can of drink? If you said like a can of water or tea or something, it would have been fine. But keeping it super generic, like drink, really kind of bothered me. It's like, what? She's an A about faces and marches out the door, and Misha skips out after her. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Last week, those two were like bloodhounds. Or prison guards. Or maybe prison guards bred from bloodhounds. I can't believe I just thought that, let alone saying it out loud. I think I need to move away from Kenji. You remember giggling your ass off the can of drink line too? It's so weird, right? Like, who calls that who calls something a can of drink? Like, again, I have my cup of drink. It's just weird. But we also had a good laugh at Lily using us as the guinea pig to test Hanako's cooking. Nichols giving us a good improv line of,
You still alive? Guess I'll take a bite.
or me's like, Sal's dying on the floor and she's just casually munching on some rolls.
At least it's not me.
Or the one I particularly liked was Hanako questioning why she isn't eating anything. She's like,
Oh, I'm sorry. I filled up on bread.
I'm actually going to start saying that now to validate Morning Studios. Just say can of drink. You do you. It just sounds so weird. Can of drink is just such a weird phrase. Yo, can you pass me a can of drink? I mean, drink can is a little better, but we call it a can of drink. It's just like, what? Never mind. Anyway, should we go to the library?
Sure.
Hanako follows me through the still crowded halls to the library, using me as a shield. As soon as we're through the door, Hanako bolts for the counter where Yuko is stacking books. Would you like water today? Or maybe drink? God damn it. Oh my god. Oh my god. That one, every line in this damn thing, can of drink. Like, what even? Before I can catch up, Hanako has whispered something to her.
You'd find that not in nonfiction, but I don't know where exactly. If you want, I can look it up.
Yeah. Damn, I actually kind of got stuck there for a second.
Never mind.
Hey, Yuko. What's all this about? Can I get anything else for you today, sir? Oh yeah, a drink cup. Oh man. Esau really just described Hanako as all this. I mean, come on. At Lily's route, he was describing her as describing her as blending in with the furniture in the room. So Lily is furniture, Hanako is all this. Asao treats his objects like women. God damn it. Treats his objects like women. God damn it. That's too good.
Oh, Hasao! Hanako was just looking for a book on... nothing.
A book on nothing? In the non-fiction section?
I was just...
I shoot a glance at Yuko. She looks like she's about to burst from the pressure of keeping Hanako's request secret. Yuko, what did...
Chess! She's looking for a chess book.
I make a mental note to never entrust Yuko with any important information. In before Hanako is looking for erotica, in the non-fiction section, I don't know many people that have wrote down every single one of their exploits and then published it. Best erotica is real erotica. Oh my god. Yes, read up the memoirs of a playboy. Lord.
Yuko.
Oh my god, was she actually looking up a chess book? Seriously? Because we beat you one time in chess? Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Hanako. It just slipped out.
Well, it's not a secret anymore. Come on, I'll give you a hand. I should really brush up on my skills too.
Oh. Okay.
Yuko disappears behind the counter in shame as Hanako and I wander into the depths of the non-fiction section. I know there's supposed to be a system for categorizing these books, but I don't see how anyone can decipher it without spending half their life researching it. It's the Dewey Decimal System, and it isn't that hard. That's probably why all librarians I know are neurotic. Toward the end of the aisle, between a book on card tricks and some book on kids' games, stands a single book bearing the title Chess Tactics for Champions. Before I can reach for it, Hanako has the book in her hands, clutching it to her chest. Well, I guess that's yours then. Mind if I borrow it when you're finished?
Sure. I just haven't really played against anyone but Lily before, so I thought...
Damn. It's not like I was trying to beat Hanako deliberately or anything, but she seems to have taken it to heart. Then again, at least this means she wants to play me again. That's a plus, right? Well, it's not like I'm a master or anything. I just played a bit before... It occurs to me that I haven't told Hanako about my condition. I falter for a second, deciding to cover my tracks. That is a conversation for another day. Before I came here.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I was just remembering something. When I think about it, I shouldn't be afraid to tell Hanako about my condition and my time in the hospital. Judging by her scars, she probably spent a fair amount of time in a hospital bed. But for some reason, I can't bring it up. At least not today, and not on short notice. Eager to break off the conversation, I grab a random book from the shelf. It's some book on the world's fastest roller coasters. Published in 1982. Well, it's not very up to date, but it should at least be interesting. Well, we both got books now. Should we go sit down? Hanako seems to accept my bluff, and we head to the reading nook at the back of the library. Neither of us says a word. We simply open our books and start reading. I try to read my book, but it would seem that in 1982, roller coasters weren't nearly as large as the ones built in the decades since. Most of the ones listed are made of wood. Something about that doesn't seem safe to me. Wood coasters are fine. They hurt to ride in most of the time because there's no shock absorption. So you're feeling every rattle and shake as it goes along, and kind of hurts your head after a while. The newer coasters are obviously, newer metal ones are obviously better for that because they're a lot smoother in operation. But sometimes nothing beats a good old wood coaster. Granted, I have to work myself up to get on a roller coaster in general, but it's neither here nor there. If I'm going to ride on something potentially dangerous, I want it to be made out of steel or some kind of space-age alloy that has big words like titanium and ruthenium. Is ruthenium actually, like, a thing? Now I'm really curious. Huh, yeah, it is. It's in the same element group as platinum. Interesting. There, we learned something today. Ruthenium is an element related to platinum, like in the same group as it. It's a transitional metal. I don't know how well that goes to making actual things, but I'll take steel. Or titanium. Probably steel. I quickly lose interest, and my eyes wander across the reading area to rest on Hanako. Hanako seems absorbed in her book, looking back and forth through the pages as if confirming what she just read. I wonder if it's actually effective, or if she's just overloading herself. She unconsciously brushes her hair from her face, temporarily revealing her scar tissue. I'm still not sure about the protocol here. Is it right to ask her about her scars? Or her past? How long she was in the hospital? Does she still visit the doctor? All these seem like questions you'd ask someone who just transferred to your school, translated into the local language. But to date, no one has directly asked me any of them. Well, except Rin, but I don't think I should use her as a guide to proper social behavior. Yeah, remember, in Rin's words, her initial thought was, the problem in your pants? For the time being, I'll just keep my mouth shut. If someone wants you to know something, then they'll tell you. Trying to force the issue might drive Hanako back into herself.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have to close the library now.
Already? I checked my watch. Somehow, as I was lost in thought, nearly 2 hours have passed.
Do you want to check out those books? I can do it on the way out. Please.
I'm done. I'll drop this one back on the way through. It wasn't as interesting as I first thought. Hanako marks her place with a slip of paper and stands up. The girls head to the counter, and I return my book to what I think is the right shelf. Yuko scans Hanako's book with practiced precision, yet still manages to fumble it.
Oh, there we go. Third time lucky. Since this is a non-fiction book, you can only have it for a week. That's okay.
Yuko shuts down the library's computer and herds us out the door.
Ugh, I didn't think it was this late already.
But you're the one who told us you had to close.
Yes, but... I know, but... That was before I looked at the time. I'll see you later.
Yuko bolts down the hallway, her handbag trailing behind her like an awkward streamer. I guess all librarians really are neurotic.
Huh?
Never mind. I was just thinking I've never met a librarian that can organize their time, no matter how good they are with their books.
Oh. I know what you mean.
Hanako smiles in amusement. It wasn't meant to be a joke, but I must have reminded her of some other librarian. Or something.
I have to get back.
Yeah, me too. I didn't realize it was this late. Thanks for letting me hang out with you.
No problem.
I'm gonna go to my dormitory room now anyway, so do you mind if I tag along?
Okay.
Hanako sets off ahead of me, and I need to jog a little to reach her side. We walk through the gardens, eventually arriving in front of the dorm buildings. Man, you walk pretty fast. I used to play in a soccer club, and you managed to outpace me. Bro, you said you only did that for something to do. It wasn't scheduled, it was just every now and again, if they wanted to play, I played. You're also not very fast. You're also out of shape. You also have a bum heart, as that doesn't help. It's been a little over a week since you got out of the hospital. You ain't running fast, bruh. I kinda regret saying that. It has less to do with her pace than with the fact that my condition has significantly worsened my fitness. Hanako's reaction is odd. I expected an awkward attempt to downplay her walking speed, but she just blushes while looking at her feet and smiling. Silence hangs in the air between us. That happens often around Hanako, but feels slightly different than usual this time. After a few seconds, I try to break the silence. Here you go. See you in class tomorrow?
Sure.
Hanako waves a short goodbye before pushing her way through the dorm's doors. I stand and look at them for a while before making my way to my own dormitory room. Chirping birds. Normally, this would be a good time to reflect upon the beauty of nature. But it is 6 a.m. Covering my head with the pillow, I slam my face into the mattress, hoping that the impact will send me instantly back to sleep. Sorry, bruh. You are awake. You are awake now. Futile. I toss and turn, but sleep simply won't return to me. Alright, nature. You've won. See? I'm getting up now. The lack of sleep weighs my mind down, and there's only one remedy for this. A nice hearty breakfast. It would be nice to be the first person here. To be the first to dig into a piping hot pile of food. To sit wherever I desire. It would have been nice. but even my exceptionally early start has put me behind the most diligent students. I guess there are quite a few people that have early starts here, for one reason or another. A group of students in sports clothes huddle around one table, eagerly discussing game plans in between inhaling great gulps of food. Scattered around the hall are a number of bleary-eyed students, probably suffering from the same ailment as myself. Noisy birds. Damn you, birds! And, of course, there are the people that actually enjoy getting up this early. The ones with their bags stuffed with textbooks and completed homework. It's hard not to despise people like that, even more so when you're tired yourself. Picking out a familiar face from the thin crowd, I head toward the nearest table. Lily sits alone, delicately feeling her way around a small plate of eggs with her fork. The birds work for the bourgeoisie! I swear to God, if we run into Kenji in this scene and the birds woke him up, he'll probably manage to spin it in some way to say it's all part of a feminist conspiracy. He'd probably say something along the lines of, let's see, they're purposely trained. They wake us men up early, throwing us off our game, so we're unprepared. They want us at our weakest, our most vulnerable. And then, just when we think we've finally escaped it, they strike. He'd probably say something stupid ass like that. Because, that would just be Kenji. The birds work for the women. They purposely wake all the men up early so they're thrown off their game, not at their best, so you can catch them off guard. I'm scared that I could potentially write dialogue for Kenji. I am terrified. What the fuck is wrong with me? It's a male skill? Oh my god. Can it be a skill I don't have? Can I get rid of it? I don't want to be able to, make up, real sounding dialogue for the feminist hater. The conspiracy nut, oh god, everything is a conspiracy. It's all the women's fault. I don't want that skill. Please, someone get rid of it. It's almost a shame to interrupt her in her clockwork movements. I wonder, is this how a blind person zones out? Simply moving in predetermined patterns learned over the years, just like how a sighted person would eat while reading a newspaper. Good morning, Lily. I didn't expect you to be here this early.
Oh, Isao, you startled me. I didn't know you took breakfast this early.
I don't. This is an exception to the rule. I'd greatly prefer to be late to school than early to breakfast. Lily gives a small sigh at my admitted tardiness as I begin eating my food. It doesn't take long for her to lapse back into her previous mindless nibbling. All this talk of breakfast is making me hungry. How do you think I feel? I've had 2 cups of tea and a small pieces of ham because I woke up early, did my stuff, and then wanted to stream right away. Also, breakfast is barely a thing I ever have. So yeah, I was hungry going into this. This did not help. short motion lacks energy. I suppose this is similar to letting your eyes wander while performing any ordinary chore. But after a few repetitions of the find food, eat food cycle, Lily puts down her fork and dabs her lips with a napkin.
Hisao, do you mind if I ask you a question?
Damn. All I want is a little food and about 4 hours of sleep. And nobody says, "Can I ask you a question?" for a simple question. Sure.
Do you think of Hanako as a friend?
Huh. This seems like a leading question. I guess so. Why do you ask?
No real reason. I do have another question, though. Why is it you think of her as a friend?
This is well above my level. What is she expecting from me? I'm not really sure. I guess it's because she's a little different in the way she deals with people?
Since I've known her, she hasn't really connected with anyone. She doesn't seem interested in other people, and I think people are a little scared off by her appearance.
Really? I thought that kind of thing was, well, discouraged here. Discriminating and such.
If I were to put it one way...
She furrows her brow in thought, a move which makes me slightly anxious as to what she's plucking from her mind.
I'd say that you're a little naive.
Naive? I'd be insulted if not for the slightly cynical grin on her face. I see.
While Yamaku has the strongest sense of community compared to other schools, it's far from being free of conflict. Rules cannot remove human nature, after all, only suppress it.
That's something I've noticed, actually. Just little things, like how certain people and cliques avoid each other in the hallways. It's no different than my old school, really. Even Lily and Shizune could be considered bitter rivals, even though they both seem like fairly accepting people. Well, at least the Misha-tinted Shizune does. Who knows what actually goes on with her fingers and behind her glasses.
We'll find out eventually.
I guess you're right. But when I first came here, everything was a bit of a shock. I kept on making mistakes, or at least thinking I was making mistakes. Like when we first met and I said, "I see," to you. I didn't know if that was considered rude or anything, so I tried to just put it in the back of my mind. Treating people any differently and that kind of thing. So I didn't. I told myself that Hanako and you and everyone else was just normal, and I tried to ignore the obvious. I talked to Hanako as if she were any other person, and so we became friends. At least that's how I think it happened. But you know, I feel guilty just from saying something like that aloud. As if it took extra effort to think of Hanako, or you, or anyone here as normal people. I don't think that's right.
Hisao, I think you are naive, but I also think you are a good person. It is perhaps one of your better traits.
I suppose I can take that as a compliment.
Tell me, are you free tonight?
If you don't count homework, then I'm as free as the breeze.
In that case, would you care to join myself and Hanako for tea?
I don't really have that much money at the moment, so going out isn't really...
Oh, I didn't mean going out. Just here, this evening.
Build-A-Bear is only shipping to US? Seriously? That's shitty. Wow, that's a bunch of bullcrap. I ordered something from Build-A-Bear... I can't remember. I think not too long before the pandemic stuff all started, and it shipped here no problem. So I don't know. I don't know, maybe it's just a restriction they have right now. So basically, you got up early, did all that waiting for nothing. Ugh. I hate that. I'm sorry, Nichols. You can access the classrooms in the evening here?
No, that's not what I meant. Hanako and I often use my room for tea parties together. Feel free to drop by after dusk.
Sure, I see no problem with that. What's your room number?
225. Room 25 on the second floor.
Okay, sure.
Well then, I had best be off. I have class representative duties to attend to, after all. Until this evening, Hisao.
Yeah, catch you later. Hang on. Was I just invited to a girl's room after hours? Is that even allowed? There is the curfew here, but I've never heard any rules about visitors in the dorm rooms. Even still, this is enough to get my sleep-deprived brain jump-started. Add that to a lukewarm breakfast, and you have one hell of a pick-me-up. I grudgingly go to class, still a little excited at the prospect of breaking the rules. Hey man, curfew just means, you can't be out after a specific time. Doesn't say you have to be in your room. Feel a little like a kid playing to sneak out of his window at night. Well, maybe that's going a little too far. But when you compare an invitation to a party to 6 or so hours of lectures, I know which one wins. Misha and Shizune do little to relieve my boredom either. For once, they seem determined to actually complete Muto's assignments. Nevertheless, the day eventually winds to a close. I hurry back to my room and to wash up and comb my hair. Thankfully, I don't run into Kenji. Before long, I'm leaving the boys' dorm. I nervously rap on the door marked 225, checking my watch once again.
Is that you, Hisao? The door's open. You can come in.
Lily's voice lits through the door and soothes my nerves. This is the first time I've been invited to a girl's room after dark. Even though I know there's no ulterior motive behind this invitation, it doesn't stop my mind running wild with possibilities. One guy, two girls, in a dorm room, with a tea set. When I put it like that, it sounds a little dodgy. Horny sow! Sow, go to horny jail. Bonk. He's always thinking with his pants. Giving a small sigh to steady myself, I gingerly put my hand on the handle and opened the door, craning my head to see inside. The door opens completely, and I catch my first glimpse of Lily's room. Her furniture looks almost antique, but the bare walls and flat surfaces are barely decorated at all. In the center of the room sits a low table, where I see a small tea set at rest. It seems that everything in this room has its place, possibly expecting the several Oh, wow, I tripped myself up there. Seems that everything in this room has its place. Possibly expecting the several piles of books stacked up against the wall. Accepting. Damn it. Whatever. I got someone in one of the discords I'm in is offering to get one for me. Okay, that's actually very nice of them. If they are willing to do it, like, that's just amazing. Get yo villager! My sense of vision isn't the only one to be stimulated. The faint smell of something can be picked up on in the air. Nail polish, perfume, makeup. It's hard to describe in any way other than girly. That's the kind of people you need in life, in general. Just someone who's gonna do it because, hey, you want it but can't really get it right now? I can get it for you. It's like, no problem here. I'll get it and then I'll ship it. I'll ship it to me, then I'll ship it to you. You need good people like that, honestly. You need at least one person like that in your life. My eyes finish their quick sweep of the room before returning their position onto the girls. Lily sits next to the small table, wearing very dark blue pajamas. Dark blue pajamas with shorts that show off plenty of her alluring pale legs. Opposite her, Hanako sits adorned in a conservative light pink gown. Her hands are firmly fixed between her legs, her shoulders forward and her head down, as if trying to hide herself in it. And it would be easy for her to do. It looks about 2 sizes too big for her. Waves of flannel flow from her frame, making her look like a child playing dress-up in her parents' clothes. She looks up to confirm my identity, and the beginnings of a thin smile creep across her face, before vanishing so fast I can't be sure they ever were there.
There's no point in standing in the doorway, Hisao.
I take a step into the room, closing the door behind me.
My. I'm afraid this really is a small room for the 3 of us. Would you like to take a seat?
I slowly walk to the table and sit down, trying my hardest not to disturb anything along the way. I also can't help but steal a quick glance into Lily's top as I sit down. Oh my fucking god. Hasao, what the fuck, man? Yeah, I'm gonna go and sit down while I casually look down the blind girl's shirt. Jesus, man, as much as I like Lily, come on, don't do this. You don't do that. There's boundaries, and you broke it. You broke a boundary. Don't perv on your friends. To be robbed of sight would be a most terrible fate. No! My god, man, what is wrong with you? You see how this is the third route we're on with Hisao. You see how he's different in each one? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's great. He's not just the same bland, generic character throughout every route, just with a different girl he's talking to. He has a different kind of personality. Ugh. But man, don't do that. Do not perv on them. Jesus Christ.
Well now, how about some tea? Hanako, could you please pour? Sure. He, so, would, would you, would you like?
I would love some tea. Do you need a hand?
N no, I'm fine. Thank you.
Lily finds it difficult to resist a smile at her companion's nervousness. Something I can't really blame her for. Been a tiring day?
Yeah.
I relax at my place, opposite of the cabinet. To my left is the blue-clad Lily, and to my right sits the pink Hanako. The tea set on the table looks cute as well as practical, painted red with a floral motif. It looks odd when contrasted with Lily's plain but generally sophisticated-looking furniture, which leads me to think that Hanako might have picked it out. There's a slight ting when Hanako accidentally clips the teapot on a cup as she's pouring. She breathes in sharply. She must be really nervous, as it's not the kind of thing anyone would worry about. Hanako quivers at her mistake.
It's okay, Hanako. There's no need to be nervous.
Hanako seems to find some confidence in Lily's reassuringly soft-spoken words and deftly pours the next 2 cups. Why did I add tea in there? Whatever. Speaking of tea, I've nearly finished my 2nd cup. Oh, it's almost been an hour anyway. Which is bad.
Here you are, Hisao. Lily?
Hanako carefully places a cup and saucer in front of Lily and myself. I could get used to service like this.
Thank you, Hanako.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Lily searches for her cup, and upon finding it, sips delicately. I do the same. This tea tastes somewhat better than the tea we usually have at school. This is nice. It's so different from any other tea I had before.
It looks like you picked the right one, Hanako. You've done well, even if it was a bold move.
Hanako's smile returns, redoubled. Even with her blighted face, her shy smile couldn't be called anything but cute.
I'm glad you like it.
Hanako, finally beginning to relax, sips from her cup. Something about this makes me think about Lily's question at breakfast. Why am I friends with Hanako? Lily seems genuinely concerned for Hanako's well-being, but it's not like I can do anything to help her. As far as I can tell, her scars don't hold her back physically, and everyone I've met seems to have overcome their disabilities to some extent. I don't have any ulterior motives to hang out with Hanako. We just share similar interests. Isn't that enough?
So, Hisao, are you enjoying yourself?
Lily's words break me out of my reverie, and I take a second to reconsider where I am. I'm in a room with two girls in their bedclothes. This is something to be enjoyed. Yeah, it's relaxing. Almost like I'm not in school anymore. Do you do this often? Keep it in your pants, Asao. You're basically at a slumber party. Exactly. I mean, he already kind of wrecked it by trying to look down... not trying, sorry. Succeeding in looking down Lily's shirt. Slumber parties are the perfect time. Okay, yes. Probably. Yeah. Oh my god. Also, hi Jen, how's it going? Yeah, it's working fine. I've been like on and off Twitch Inspector like Sunday night and yesterday, just seeing, alright, is it going to be stable? Will it be fine? The answer is yes. I even went on it real quick just before I started stream to make sure. I'm pretty sure it was just everybody using the Wi-Fi again, but I also reset the router, so maybe that partially fixed it. I don't know. So I figured, screw it, let's just make up for it with extra long stream of Katawa Shoujo. One, because I really wanted to continue on with Hanako's route. And two, I thought only my sister would be home right now. But no, an extra shift my mom was brought in for ended up getting canceled. And I'm like, I already said I'd start around 10, so screw it, let's just go. And it's been working fine. Thankfully. You not working today, or are you just tuning in real quick on a break or something?
Quite often. but not as often as we take tea in the school building.
Considering they do that nearly every day, that's not a big surprise. Yeah, I started at 10. Yeah, blame that. Yeah, that's 100% Twitch's fault for the late notifications. Plus, it's fine. It's okay if you come in late or don't come in at all. Any kind of support in general is fine. Don't feel obligated to show up. Haven't gotten my COVID test results back yet, so just chilling out till then. Yeah, it could... I mean, down here, it took at least a few days for mine to come in. And even when they came back negative, I still had to take a full 2 weeks from when I got the test off from work. I don't know if it's the same up in Ottawa. I just know down here, that's how they wanted us to do. Once you get your test, full 2 weeks off. Are supposed to take 2 days at most. You got it yesterday at 2. Okay. But do you still have to, like, essentially quarantine yourself for 2 weeks after anyway until they come in? Yeah, negative test results when actually positive is a thing. As I move to take another sip from my teacup, I find it sadly empty. Same here, bro. That was delicious. Thank you, Hanako. Lily?
You're welcome. Yes, you're most welcome, Miss Sao. It's nice to have a third person here.
Well, anytime you need someone to fill that position, I'm always available. Always.
Since you said you're always available, I was thinking perhaps we can do something only 3 people can do. Got to break Hanako out of her shell somehow.
Oh my god. I did not just say that. I think there's been I've seen enough custom dialogue about that. One must be sure to get one's point across in these circumstances. Lily lets use a yawn, which she unsuccessfully hides in her hand.
Pardon me. I think I'm a little tired. I think we're all a little tired. My, how astute we are tonight, Hanako. We really should head to bed. We all have class tomorrow.
Yeah, I should go.
Thank you for your presence, Hisao. Thanks. You'll come again?
Not even a whole army could stop me.
I'm impressed by your determination, Hisao.
Either way, you're right. We'd best get going. I stand up and make for the door. Hanako gingerly stands up behind me. I stop and face her. Are you coming with me? Hanako instantly blossoms into full blush.
No. Not... This room... isn't...
It's okay, I was only joking.
Oh. Okay. Good night. Good night, Hanako. Good night, Hisao.
Night all. And with that, our tea party finishes. Still not sure what it is that Lily wants me to do for Hanako, but I don't want to let her down. I wait until the door is closed behind us before turning to Hanako. Hey, Hanako, you know, you don't have to be nervous around me or anything. I mean, we're friends, right?
Right. We're friends.
If you ever want to hang out or anything, just let me know. We still need to have that chess rematch, remember?
Sure. But I don't think you'll win.
It wouldn't be any fun if it was easy. Hanako seems to give a muted laugh, but she could have just as easily been exhaling.
Good night, Hisao.
With that, Hanako quickly retreats into her room, located next to Lily's. I start to walk back to my dorm, but the simple act of walking seems to drain me of my energy. I barely make it to my room before I'm hit by a wave of exhaustion. I kick off my shoes, fall into bed, and fall asleep by the time my head hits the pillow. I pull my door closed, ready for another day of classes. Oh, fuck.
Sleep well.
Kenji's sudden arrival makes me jump, and I barely avoid butting heads with him. I know he has poor eyesight, but he knows who I am. Does he still have to stand this close? Oh, yeah, like a baby.
Damn. Why do people say that? Have you ever heard a baby sleep? They scream! All night. Every night.
Babies don't sleep well. Ever. Well, there goes my restful state. I have to remember to never use figures of speech with Kenji. Alright, I get your point. It was a figure of speech. Yeah, sure, whatever. Where were you last night?
I had a favor to ask you and you weren't around.
For a split second, I considered telling Kenji the truth, that I was spending time with Hanako and Lily. Thankfully, that split second passes as soon as it came. I was just out, checking out the local area and stuff. You know, recon.
Good man, good. I knew you were the type to plan ahead.
Anyway, what was this favor you wanted?
I was gonna get some takeout, but I needed change.
Wait, what?
I gave you money last week and you still haven't paid me back. And I was starting to think you were cool.
Kenji fishes around in his pocket and produces his wallet. As he counts out the 400 yen he owes me, I can clearly see at least two 10,000 yen notes.
Hey, what the hell? Why are you borrowing money off of me when you got that much cash?
Kenji hisses a little, realizing he's been had.
Get off my case, man. It's bad luck to break a big note for anything less than half its value. It's the tycoon's rule. Last night's dinner was going to cost me 7 years of bad luck. 7 years! Don't you think it's enough cause to help someone out? I'd get a shorter sentence if I just stole the stuff.
My common sense screams at me to say something to him, but thankfully I restrained myself.
Okay, phone died, so I was going because I had a sore throat and lots of schools have been closing and I don't trust kids. So it had been 4 days since last contact with, and my result comes back. It's probably a full negative and not just testing too early.
Yeah, I think you're fine at that point. So no isolation? Oh. Well, they made me isolate anyway, and work made me go back for a second test before they would allow me to come back, just to be sure I was positive. Just because of the incubation periods, like, I was potentially last exposed this day, that test said negative, it's like, okay, in 2 weeks, get another test. If that one also comes back negative, you're good. Just so it wasn't, sitting in my system, building up. Stop that. Stop that. You know what the hell I mean, damn it. You know what I mean. Oh my god. Arguing a point like this with Kenji will just lead to further and more complicated discussions. Yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe you should plan these things a little better.
Yeah, man, I know. I just got so much stuff to do, it's hard. And you're never around anymore, so I'm on my own. We're supposed to be brothers in brotherhood, remember?
Yeah, I get you. Global conspiracy and such. I'll keep my ear to the ground. Kenji draws close enough for me to get a clear whiff of his garlic-tainted breath.
You'd better, man. You're already spending less time here. That's the first thing they do. They'll try to split us up. Divide and conquer. Sun Tzu said that.
Roger that. Now I've got to be going. I've got classes. You coming?
Nah, I'm tired. I stayed up all night just to make sure nothing was going to happen after splitting that note.
As rational as ever, I see. Whatever. Night. Kenji scurries back into his room, and I hear him throwing his locks as I walk down the hallway. That is why some people can't roll their tongue, and why their second toe is longer than their big toe. Okay, no, that's normal sized, but I know I can roll my tongue. I don't know, weird. Can everyone else roll their tongue? I feel like it's actually very common now. You can't? Really? Huh. Alright. Everyone else in your family can, but you... Oh. Clover thing? What clover thing? That's got me confused. I've really gotta set my mouse to not turn off so quickly. Okay, let's see. Oh, that. Okay, yeah, I can't do that. At the very least, I haven't really tried, but I'm gonna say, for now, I cannot. I can just do the rolling thing. Your stepbrother can do that, but can't roll his tongue. Okay. I see no benefit for us to be able to do either of those. It's just kind of a weird, goofy genetic thing. Just look at this weird thing I can do. What's the benefit of it? Yeah, it's all a genetic thing. Again, it serves no purpose at all. Serves literally no purpose. Yes, let's roll your tongue. The thing that, usually is flat and long for a reason. What that reason is, I don't know. I don't know genetics. I don't know the human body that much in detail. I know what everyone else knows on a baseline level. And yeah, we all do still have our appendix. I'm surprised that hasn't eventually, just been evolved out. Oh yeah, at some point there was probably a reason. But I think by this point we're all just kind of guessing. Fingers crossed, nothing happens to my appendix in the near future, because I don't need to deal with that during a pandemic. I mean, going on 28 years with no problems with it, so I think I'm in the clear. For now. Muto beams a half-moon smile at us, obviously proud of his explanation of recessive genes. Okay, so it's a recessive gene. Great. I got an extra recessive gene to be able to do that. Congrats, Jen. You got more dominant genes. Like being ginger. Which I am also not. Yeah, there you go. You definitely got the more dominant genes. However, no matter how impressed he is at the science that defines who we are, the classroom seems to be reduced to a stupor. Why is it that a bad explanation can make even the most interesting things seem worthless? I can see Muto deflate as he realizes that nothing he's said in the past half hour has sunk in. Whispered conversations start to break the silence, and like an avalanche, the noise level in the class starts to rise. Defeated, Muto identifies some questions from the textbook and sets to clearing off the blackboard. Almost as if expected, Hanako packs up her things and leaves as soon as people start talking and laughing among themselves. The initial shock of seeing someone play so blatantly truant has started to fade, but it doesn't stop me from wondering. Is she leaving because she doesn't want people to speak to her? Or is it just the thought of people around her shattering her peace? Before I can think about the topic any further, the lunch bell rings. I wonder if she was simply taking the opportunity to leave early. The usual clamor of students exchanging books for lunch reverberates around the room, and while Misha is distracted, I grab my lunch and head out the door. Lily already sits in the tea room, setting out her lunch alone. So Hanako's not here then?
Oh, Isao, how are you? I haven't met Hanako since this morning, I'm afraid.
That's right. Hanako and Lily live next to each other. Somehow I think their morning conversations are slightly more grounded than Kenji's ramblings. That's strange. She left class early, so I figured she'd come here.
So she's still leaving class early?
Huh? Yeah, I've seen her do it a few times. Lily drops her head a little, and her tone of voice is notably depressed. It's very reminiscent of someone who's used to hearing bad news.
I was so sure she'd stop doing that once you two became friends. Everyone has their own pace, I suppose.
Well, I was wondering about just that today. Why exactly does she leave?
I'm not entirely sure myself. I personally think it's because she doesn't want to be put in a situation where she has to answer someone.
I have a flashback of my first meeting with her, when I thought she looked like a cornered animal. Maybe I wasn't far from the truth. But she seems fine with talking to you, and with me. A bit.
It's a little more complex than that. I imagine that the first thing most people ask of her about is her scars, and what happened. She rarely talks about it with me, but I can tell she doesn't like to remember whatever happened back then. Leaving class and running away from discussions is her preemptive strike, if you will.
Huh. So then how does that explain her talking to me?
You said it yourself yesterday at breakfast. You tried to ignore her scars. Once she saw that you weren't going to ask her about that, she opened herself up to you.
I guess you're right. Maybe. I don't know. You know her better than I, so I'll take your word for it.
I wouldn't worry about that. I'm sure she'll come to know you as well as I do soon enough. I welcome the prospect of her having a new friend, and the two of you have such similar interests.
Well, I hardly count reading as a team sport. It's good to have company, though.
That's my point. Hanako is still an average person at heart. She also wants company at times like that.
Huh, I see. I think. To be honest, both of you still confuse me a little.
That's only natural, Hisao. We've only known each other for a little while. It's unreasonable to expect you to understand us, just as we can't understand you. But that is half the fun of becoming friends, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Although, I suppose there is the matter of us being opposite genders. Men and women do seem to confuse each other quite often.
Yep. She says this with a light giggle, finding amusement at the odd little details of life.
I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to start eating.
No, go ahead. I think I'll eat something too. I've got some books I want to drop back at the library before classes start, so I'd better get a move on.
You'll probably find Hanako there as well. If you do see her, can you tell her to stop by my room later tonight? I'd like to talk to her.
You're not coming?
Unfortunately, I have class representatives meeting later, so I'll be gone as soon as I finish my lunch.
Okay then. If I don't see her in the library, then I'll tell her in class. I'm sure she'll be back after lunch. We fall silent as we start to eat, and I take a second to reflect on our conversation. I've always thought that Hanako's shyness was simply due to being self-conscious of her scars. But that is a pretty superficial way of looking at her. Just when I thought I was able to see through the fog of Lily and Hanako, I realized that I'm more lost than when I started. Lily quickly finishes her lunch, acutely aware of her meeting. I don't blame her. Shizune is most likely going to be there, and I doubt she wants to give her the satisfaction of another argument.
I must be off. Same time tomorrow?
Same time, same channel. I'd better head off too. I don't want to risk being late. Lily smiles gently, picks up her cane, and walks out into the hall. I turn my back on Lily as we head in opposite directions. For some reason, I find myself hoping she doesn't get into another fight with Shizune. As much as I like Lily, Shizune and Misha have been pretty instrumental in helping me adjust, even if half of our conversations are thinly veiled recruitment attempts. Then again, I barely know either of them. Maybe they were previously leaders of some kind of secret society, but their love for each other drove them apart. We went through Lily's route. We know why they're so at each other's throats. It's just hard to work together when one is deaf, the other is blind, and they have very different ways of wanting to do things. Plus, you know, the whole family thing. Man, I need to stop reading cheap fiction. It's rotting my brain. Either that, or I've got to move away from Kenji and his bad influence. Yes, move away from Kenji. We don't need him, messing with you. It's sad that I can't tell the two apart anymore. I slide my books down the return chute and they crash into the cart with a pleasant thud. Yuko, however, doesn't seem as impressed as I.
Hisao, you scared me!
Sorry? I thought you'd be used to that by now. Or is the literacy level here so low that nobody borrows any books?
Huh? No, I think everyone here can read fine.
Yeah, never mind. There's some battles that you can never win. Trying to explain jokes is one of them. My dad taught me that the hard way. Say, Yuko, have you seen Hanako about? She left class early, and she wasn't in her usual hiding place.
I think I saw her sneak in before lunch. Oh, but I'm not supposed to tell anyone that!
I just told you that I saw her leave. No need to stress out.
Oh, of course. She's probably in the back.
Thanks. Get any new books in recently?
No, sorry. I'll let you know when we do, though.
Okay. If there's one thing I know about librarians, part-time or otherwise, is that they appreciate people who take a genuine interest in their work. I walk the now familiar path to Hanako's reading nook, picking out a few titles along the way. Sometimes I find it hard to discover a book that will interest me along the shelves. An author's name and a two-word title don't mean much in a sea of similar words. For that reason, I sometimes reread books that I read in the past. Better to bet on the favorite than a new runner. I mean, yeah, you got the joke. You got a million books at home, you buy 5 more, then you read the same one over again. An unfamiliar title from a familiar author peeks out among the spines of its neighbors, so I remove it from the shelf. At least I'm not going over old material. As expected, Hanako sits on her beanbag, buried deep in a copy of Dance Dance Dance. Hi, Hanako. How's it going? I fight the urge to ask why she left class early. If Lily's suspicions were right, then asking her about it could have the opposite effect. Best to leave it for the time being. Sometimes the best way to get an answer from someone is to never ask the question.
Hello, Hisao. I'm fine.
Something seems off, and after a couple of seconds, I realize what it is. Hanako's smiling. She looks as if she's pleased to see me. It's a nice change from the usual instinctively frightened reaction, and something I hope I can see more of as we get to know each other better. Good to hear. How's that book? I've heard it's a trip.
It's good. I think. I've only just started it, so I don't really know.
Fair enough. Let me know how it goes. I may borrow it once you're done.
Sure.
There's a good 15 minutes left in lunch. Not enough to really get into a book, but too much to stand around doing nothing. And Hanako has already returned to her reading, so I doubt I'll get much conversation from her. Oh well, I better make myself comfortable. I slouch into a beanbag and crack open my book. The familiar style of the author leaps out at me from the very first line. As the sentences turn into paragraphs, I start to relax a little. But no matter how I try, I can't seem to get myself into the atmosphere of the book. This is partly due to the lack of time, but the more distracting factor is Hanako. Every 10 or so seconds, she peers over the top of her book, but when our eyes meet, she quickly ducks behind the covers. I guess she did want to talk about something after all. What's up? You look like a prairie dog on lookout.
It's nothing.
I've told you before, nothing means something when you say it like that. Hanako squirms a little in her beanbag, hoping that by changing her position, she'll find the word she's looking for.
I was in an accident.
Accident? Just now? Are you alright? Hanako shakes her head, her hair flowing around her shoulders in whiffs of amethyst on the background of pale and dark flesh. Jesus. Why couldn't I not read that right?
No. When I was younger.
Realization crashes into me like a semi.
When I was...
It's alright, Hanako. You don't have to tell me anything if you don't want to. Again, she shakes her head.
No. I have to tell you. When I was young, I was in a fire. My house burned down, and I nearly didn't make it. After that, I was alone.
Hanako's eyes glisten in the dim light of the library, and I reach out to grasp her hand. It's okay, Hanako. You don't have to keep going.
But I have to.
Why?
What brought this on? Last night, Lily told me about your heart. And I didn't think it was fair.
Fair?
That I knew about you, but you didn't know about me.
I squeeze Hanako's hand a little. Don't be silly. But yes, I have a heart condition. I lean a little closer to Hanako. What I didn't tell Lily is that I had my first attack when a girl confessed to me. I smile a little to break the tension.
Really?
Really. I haven't heard from her for a while, though, so I guess it's all over. This is also Hanako's theme song that plays right now. Not exactly the most cheery of tunes. I know it's all over. There's no other way to interpret what happened last time I saw her. In some ways, not having heard from her again has helped me move on from that period of my life. So now, we both know a little more about each other. But you don't have to talk about things if you don't want to. In fact, I feel a little bad even thinking about that whole incident. I can almost smell the hospital's disinfectant burning the back of my sinuses again. I imagine Hanako is going through the same thing now. When I was in the hospital, I went to the bird ward once, and only once. I was bored, so I went for a walk through all the wards. I went through oncology and I thought I could take it. But when I got to the burn ward, I turned around and went back to my bed. To think that Hanako would have spent months in a place like that, smelling nothing but corrupted skin, strong disinfectant, and sterilized air. The really bad cases were kept in isolated pods so no foreign objects could enter. That would have meant no reading. I would have gone insane if I didn't have my books in the hospital. And she said she was alone. Did her parents die? I'll have to ask Lily about it. I can imagine myself saying something dumb unintentionally.
Thank you, Hisao. I haven't told many people about this.
To be honest, I haven't told many people about my circumstances either.
Then I won't tell anyone either.
Deal. I changed my grip on Hanako's hand into a handshake as the warning bells chimed through the window. Well then, we'd better head back to class then, eh?
Sure.
Act 3. Castling. So wow, I already got through all of Act 2. Kinda glad I started early. I'm at least gonna save here right now. And I'm going to take a quick break to make myself another tea and then decide whether I'm going to continue on with this or switch to another game. So, I shall be right back. Okay, and I'm back. I was holding my teacup the wrong way coming up the stairs. I was not holding it by the handle, I was holding it just by the regular glass part, and, well, it's hot, and it was burning. Oh my god. Of course, my door wasn't open. I had to kick it open. So just that little extra time did not help holding it. Ow. Anywho, I'm actually just gonna keep going for I gotta go for one more hour. Try to actually end it off at or close to 2 o'clock. Cause why not? I feel like I'm on a roll. Why the hell not? This just makes up for Sunday being not a thing. Plus, you can't just stop after Act 2 with that. Like, damn. Alright. For those that don't know, castling is something you do in chess. And that fits with Hanako because, well, you know, she likes chess. There you go. If I'm remembering correctly, castling is where you, like, switch positions of the rook and the king? Yeah, something like that. The tint of the room slowly changes from the shine of the afternoon to the orange of dusk. A clock lazily ticks away the seconds, counting in the background on the verge of hearing. But no matter how long I wait, the outcome cannot be changed. The diminutive playing piece makes a small click against the board. Like a wound spring, Hanako makes her move only moments after mine. It's embarrassing. In comparison to my 5-minute moves, she seems to know exactly what she wants to do.
Mate.
Again. What does it make this? 3-2?
Stalemates don't count.
Damn. You're getting better at this every day. That, or she's been holding back. I'd never have thought it when I first met her, but she really has a knack for this game. Chess seems to have become a popular pastime for the two of us, hiding away in the tea room, playing a game or two after classes. From here, the students outside can just barely be heard milling about. The everyday noises from below remind me a little of my life before Yamaku, though I'm by now well aware that it's a life I'll never get back to. Fancy another game?
I have to finish my homework.
Oh. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then.
But what about this?
Hanako points to the tea set surrounding the mostly empty chessboard. Don't worry about that. I've got it.
Oh. Okay. See you.
Later. Hanako departs as I start cleaning up the area. The occasional whistles and cheers from the sporting clubs outside become less frequent, eventually approaching silence. Part of me still wants to be in some kind of team. Since I played soccer and other sports before my accident, I guess it's only normal to feel nostalgic about what I can't do anymore. But I have other reasons than that for coming here so often, and I don't feel so bad about losing that part of my life because of them. Lily is a good friend by now, but it's the small exchanges I have with Hanako that feel especially dear. Small victories I feel every day as I see more of what it's like under her self-imposed shell. And that's why I come here most of all. Putting away cups and saucers, I hear talking outside the door. Pausing for a moment to listen, I can make out that it's Hanako and Lily, and decide to go outside to investigate.
Are you quite sure? I'm sure. Hisao.
Hanako turns to see me with a look of mild surprise as she notices my approach. Lily must have caught her just as she was about to leave.
Oh my, Hisao is here as well.
Afternoon, Lily. What's up?
I was hoping, now that I've finished with my class representative duties for the day, that I might have you two accompany me for tea at the Shanghai. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves outside of the school for a change.
I'd be up for it, but I think Hanako had work to do, though?
It's not all that much. Wonderful. It seems we're decided then.
I cast my eyes across the cafe as the three of us step in. As usual, there are only a handful of people around at most, and the noise level has a quiet background hum. The hold Lily has on Hanako's arm remains just as it had been for the entire slow walk down the hill to the local town, though it's hard to say for which reason. For Lily's guidance, or for Hanako's reassurance. For a moment, Lily removes her arm from Hanako's to retract her cane as Yuko quickly skitters over to where we stand, and soon replaces it right back where it had been.
Welcome to the Shanghai. May I take your order?
She gives a deep bow, her well-delivered and professional introduction putting her in a good mood. It's a nice change from the norm for Yuko.
Just tea, please. Hanako? Hisao?
I'll have a slice of pie and a coffee.
Just tea, please. Coming right up. Please take any seat you wish, and I'll be back shortly.
Yuko gives a smile and a nod before shuffling to the counter, and we make our way to some empty seats by the window in quick measure. We slip into our seats, the girls on one side with Lily's cane propped up beside them, and I on the other. I realize that Hanako's not doing something that she so often does. Rather than keeping her eyes pinned to the ground and hiding behind her blind escort, busily trying to convince herself that the world around them doesn't exist, she's merely keeping her eyes low and helping Lily around. Are you okay, Lily? You look tired. She lowers her head a little, looking somewhat embarrassed that she let it show.
Class representative work can be very tiring, considering that it often means dealing with the student council. Very tiring indeed. How do the other representatives go? Better than I, but not by much. Shizune is a harsh taskmaster, no matter whom she deals with.
Doesn't sound like you particularly relish the job. Why do you do it in the first place if it's that bad?
Being a class representative is enjoyable, and I can deal with the responsibility well enough. It's just that people involved are sometimes...
She trails off, cutting her words at a rather opportune spot. It's hard to imagine Lily cursing, but I imagine that if anyone could make her do so, it would be Shizune. Hanako looks to be withering a bit in the light of such conflict, but before I can steer the topic away a little, she stands up.
Hanako? I'll be back in a bit.
With that, she leaves for the restrooms. I suppose that's one way to deal with the situation, if that was indeed her motivation. Lily, however, looks a little wounded. Don't worry about it. I don't think it was you. But I think she's been getting stronger recently. You've seen it yourself, right? That went a bit awry. Fortunately, Lily doesn't look offended, and by now I really shouldn't be quite so scared of stepping on that landmine around her.
Possibly. Sometimes. I find it hard to tell, though.
Silence reigns for a moment before 2 teacups, a pie, and a mug of steaming coffee appear in front of us. I notice that Yuko has taken special care to place the teacup against the tip of Lily's fingers, letting her know where it is.
Here you go.
Thanks, Yuko.
Thank you.
With a quick and silent bow, the bespectacled waitress takes her leave.
Ah, that's right. I was meaning to ask you something, and now would be the right time to do so.
I'm all ears.
Hanako's birthday is coming up, and I was hoping that you might accompany me for present shopping in the city this weekend.
Hanako's birthday is soon? I suppose it would be a nice chance to cheer her up a bit. Like Yuko, she always seems to be teetering on the edge of either panic or depression, and I've never seen her enjoy herself much outside of our chess games. All that aside, learning the layout of the city better with a friend keeping me company sounds like a good way to spend a weekend. Sure, I'd be happy to. Have you got any plans for what to do for her birthday? A party or anything?
Hanako being Hanako, perhaps a low-key affair would be...
Lily suddenly cuts herself short, leaving me to wonder why as she brings her teacup to her lips and begins to sip. After a few seconds, I notice Hanako walking up to us over her shoulder. Lily's hearing must be very good indeed if it was the sound of the restroom door opening that tipped her off. Hanako takes her seat once again and wastes no time in drinking her tea. Soon, the three of us are quietly eating and drinking as the sun sets. It's a nice way to spend the remainder of the day's light, and it makes me appreciate the quiet and serene surroundings of Yamaku. I think I'm really beginning to like life here, as isolated as it may be. Ugh, jeez. I finish off the last of my coffee and rest the mug on the table while the girls talk between themselves. Coffee here is a little bitter for my tastes, but still quite good. Better than what I can make for myself in any case. The girls' discussion is mainly focused on their respective reading preferences, which does give me a little curiosity about a related topic. Hey, Hanako, I was just wondering, aside from chess and reading, do you have any hobbies or things you like doing? Sure, there's probably one thing, but she won't admit it. Spending time with you. She's completely stopped in her tracks, looking quite surprised that anyone would be interested in asking such a question about her. It takes her a little time to formulate a response.
I guess... I like singing a little. I'm okay with computers as well, but I don't use them all that much.
Singing's not exactly something I expected to hear. It's hard to imagine her singing voice, given how soft-spoken she is. Lily, on the other hand, simply nods. She must already know all this, since she's been friends with Hanako for about a year or so by now.
What about...
Me? She hesitates before quickly flicking her head up and down. It's only logical that she'd want me to talk about my hobbies after she told me hers. There's chess, obviously, but also... There was soccer as well, though. I can't really do that anymore. Reading, which I picked up in the hospital. This is surprisingly hard. Lily and Hanako look a little put off by the direction this is taking, and the more I think about it, the more I am too.
It sounds as if you picked up quite a few things since your accident.
Lily's candor is coated with probably the most positive spin one could put on what I said. Hanako, however, is silent. If a situation becomes difficult, her reaction always seems to be withdrawing into silence in order to prevent things getting worse. That, or physically retreating. A soft ringing gives us pause. As Lily reaches into her pocket, it becomes obvious that the sound's coming from her phone. Mood? Yup. Don't really know what to say, or it's an awkward convo? Yeah, I'ma just, zip it or walk away so things don't get any worse. And sorry, lunch also showed up. So enjoy my chewing sounds. Oh yeah, I needed that. Definitely needed that.
Sorry. It's okay.
Lily gives a quick nod before shuffling out of her seat and taking the call a little distance away to avoid disturbing the both of us. Must be nice to be popular. Hanako smiles, but doesn't take up the hook for further discussion. I end up just sitting back and closing my eyes, relaxing as best I can. It's nice and peaceful here. I wonder what it would have been like to grow up somewhere like this, rather than in the city.
You come from the city?
Looks like I found something she wants to talk about. Yeah, you could say I was a city kid through and through.
It sounds like a lot changed.
It did. Still not quite sure what to make of it all, though. It's a bit of a culture shock in more ways than one. You must have gone through something like that when you first arrived at Yamaku, right? I'd imagine most new students would.
Not really.
Hanako gazes a little to the side, looking unwilling to go on. I tilt my head inquisitively, but a couple of seconds pass with no further answer.
But can't we deal with that on Monday? The fallout has hardly settled from the last... I understand. I'll try to talk her down. You know what it's like when she gets locked onto an idea. Yes, Thank you. I'll talk to you later then. Goodbye.
Lily's conversation ends with a snap of her phone closing. She returns to our table, but doesn't take her seat. Need to go?
Unfortunately, class representative work calls once again. I can come with you. It's all right, Hanako. I'm just going straight to the student council. There's no need to spoil a fine evening on my account. Besides, if you were to accompany me on the way back to school, who would keep poor Hisao company? Okay. I can join you for tea again later tonight if you'd like. I may well need it.
We agree on that plan, and Lily says her farewells to both of us, taking her cane after Hanako passes it to her. Despite my offer to pay for Lily's share, she insists on giving us her portion of the bill and gives her regards to Yuko as she takes her leave. And then, we're alone. Maybe all well and good to leave Hanako and me alone to have some time together, but all it typically means is the two of us sitting near each other in silence for a while. Hey, sometimes sitting in silence with someone is okay. Sometimes it isn't what you do or say with someone, it's just, the actual act of being in their company. Sometimes that's just kind of all you need. Just to be in the company of friends or others. Quality time, exactly. Don't gotta say, don't gotta really do anything. It's just, I'm here, you're there. Yeah, that's just our time. Don't gotta be extravagant. I wonder what I must look like to Hanako. I never thought of myself as a scary person, but to have someone my own age acting this way around me makes me intensely self-aware, as if it's my fault that she's so troubled. She might get more used to people if she were to stop being so cloistered in Yamaku. But then again, when even people much older than her react so strongly after a single glance at her face, she may well feel the same way I do now. It's a real catch-22. If she stays in Yamaku, she won't get used to socializing. But if she leaves, any effort she might try would get thrown back at her by the people who can't deal with her scarring. Want to order something else to keep us going? We haven't had much of a dinner after all. Hanako brightens and nods vigorously, glad that I brought up the topic for her. I catch Yuko's gaze, and she dutifully comes over to take our orders. Would you like something else? I'll just have a sandwich special and a hot chocolate. Bit late for a coffee by now. Hanako?
I'll have the same.
With a nod and a bow, Yuko turns on the ball of her foot and returns behind the counter, where she busies herself fishing out bread and condiments and working the machine to make our drinks. Not a word is said between us until Yuko comes back. She smiles and gives us our food and drinks before moving to a customer who's called for her attention. I give up on the prospect of having much of a conversation with my companion and decide to just enjoy the meal, small as it may be. It tastes nice, as does most of the food here. After a few mouthfuls, I notice something's missing. Namely the sound of Hanako eating. Looking back to her, I see Hanako fidgeting a little behind her untouched sandwich. Not hungry? She shakes her head from side to side. Even as she does, the patch of hair she keeps over the right side of her face still does its job in hiding it almost entirely.
It's not that.
Ah, I was all ready to have your share too.
You looked troubled. Is something wrong?
I'm startled by her thinking that I'm the one who looks troubled. But on second thought, she's probably right. My face may have given away my emotions without me noticing, and she's hardly a dim person. Quite the opposite. We're friends, right?
Friends.
From the tone of her voice and shrinking posture, it looks as though I've hit yet another landmine. This is another reason why interacting with her is difficult. The self-imposed psychological barriers she puts up between herself and others, including me, and most likely even Lily. It's a shame that...
I think that we are.
I'm a little taken off guard by Hanako's straightforward answer. All the more so since I was about to give up on getting any reply at all. I see.
Am I wrong? Sorry.
No, it's just... Hearing confirmation of that from you is reassuring. To pick up on what you said earlier, since coming to Yamaku, I've been a bit uneasy about how I should relate with others. I find myself chuckling a little. Surprising how much of a relief that was. I can feel my face smiling as I pick up my cup of hot chocolate and bring it to my lips. Ouch! That's hot!
That's why I haven't eaten yet. I was waiting for my drink to cool down first.
I guess I'll wait then. Both of us share a little chuckle. The situation isn't really that funny, but for some reason, it feels like laughing is the most natural thing to do right now. I guess we're both a bit wound up about each other. I was so busy thinking Hanako was the one with something wrong, it took her to remind me that I was uneasy as well. But be that as it may, it still feels a little nice. A little nice to have someone thinking about me like that, in her own way. Following a long, quiet trudge up the hill and into the school grounds, the two of us find ourselves between the two dormitories. Regular night patrols pass between the male and female dormitory buildings, both for security and to quickly raise the alarm for any medical issues that may arise. The guard currently on duty notices us and gives a quick nod as he continues on his way. A loud yawn escapes from Hanako's mouth before she has a chance to cover it. I have little doubt she's fairly tired by now. I'd better be off to my room then. See you tomorrow, Hanako.
Good night.
We separate and begin to walk our separate ways, before I stop and look back. Hanako stands there, waving to me as she smiles. I smile and wave back to her, and after a few seconds, she turns and walks up the stairs to her dormitory building, disappearing through the door. These little moments we share between us feel like a small treasure. One thing is for sure. I want to protect that small, delicate smile she so fleetingly wears around so few people. I wonder about these feelings I have when Hanako's around, and when I'm able to do things for her. Whether they may be the seed for something beyond what we share now. Alright, he's feeling something. And for once, it's not in his pants. I can probably go for... Actually, you know what? Nah. I'm actually just gonna call that there for today. I've gone on for, I think, long enough, and that feels like a good place to stop. Yeah, that just feels like a good natural place to stop with Katawa Shoujo. Just a great little feel-good moment there. And there we've got her Act 2 and Act 3 cut-ins on the main page. If I remember correctly, Hanako's route is technically the shortest of the routes. Of the main routes. So, I mean, I started Act 2 today, and I'm already partway into Act 3, so yeah, hers will probably go a little faster than Lily and Emmy's. That's okay. Anyway, tomorrow at about 11, I'm gonna... I'll attempt to stream Gundam. That is my plan. I want to stream some Gundam tomorrow by 11. Same with Thursday. Friday, probably gonna do some Stardew. And then Saturday, back with Katawa. Are we taking Luna to the vet? Yeah. Okay, cool. Take care of the pupper. So, thanks everyone who showed up, watched, commented, lurked, what have you. I hope you have yourselves a great rest of the day, and I'll see you next time.